Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, on the line, all the way from a secret location around the world. She is a former Melbourne girl turned rock star, if not WWE superstar. It's, of course, WWE's own Emma.
Hey, how you going?
Doing very well. How are you?
I am still a Melbourne girl, even though I don't. I live in America now.
Oh, we're always going to claim you as a Melbourne girl. There's no doubt
Okay, good,
there.
good.
Now, you are a real true success story of Australian wrestling. Are you aware of that?
Um, well, I guess so. Yeah, I kind of went after my dreams and made them come true. So it's a bit surreal, but yeah.
It's we here at the Nightcap we have a lot of people that are one in the indie circuit here in Australia and two just regular fans of the craft. Now, if you wouldn't mind sort of going into a little bit of detail about what was the jump for you when you woke up one day and you went, you know what, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. This is how I'm going to do it.
It's funny you asked that because it kind of wasn't just like a one-day thing. I've been a fan of wrestling since my brother Jake introduced me when I was about 8 years old, and then I feel like by the time I was about 11, I was already thinking, how can I be a wrestler? And I was asking my mom and trying to find places to train. And by the time I was 13, I'd nagged her enough after I found a poster for an indie show and basically insisted that she take me there to train and learn how to wrestle. So it was years in the making and just never stopped.
Well, you had the opportunity of travelling to Calgary and working at Lance Storm's training academy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Storm Wrestling Academy. Yep.
How was that? Was that obviously the different styles of training throughout the world? When you started with the training there, was there a huge jump? Were there times where you sort of looked at your training and went, "Is it really worth it?"
No.
That's a good answer.
This is the only thing I've ever wanted to do is to wrestle. So, I kind of picked up and left home and left everything behind. But that had been something I had been aiming towards and, saving my money for since I was young, since I was just first started working when I was 14. So it was always the goal, and I knew that I had to go overseas to get some professional training and to kind of put myself on the map, on the radar. And Lance Storm School was probably the best thing I've ever done. It was a great professional introduction to the business. He's a great friend and trainer, and I was able to properly learn everything I know and kind of pick up on, since then, continue on with that.
Yeah. Your story is one that I've been following quite intently in the wrestling world. You made your debut into NXT, where you sort of made a really good name for yourself there. Moving into the main roster of Raw, what was the nerves sitting like when you're told by the booker, that's it, tonight's the night, you're going to go out, this is how it's going to work for you. What was running through your head that night?
Well, the wrestling business is kind of crazy because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, this is true.
And it wasn't like I knew for weeks what was going to happen. It was literally on the night, okay, tonight's the night. I knew I was close and what I'd been working towards, but, the first night I was thrown out in the crowd to start holding the Evolution signs, and the whole beginning of me and Santino becoming a couple on air. It was kind of just out of the blue, here we go, you're on, and I just had to go out there and just do it, on the spot.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And working with Santino Marella, was that like an easy sort of way for you to get the hang of being an on-air talent? Was he really good to work with in that respect?
Oh, he's actually one of the funniest people I've ever met. So kind of working with him and our personalities meshed really well. We're both kind of sarcastic, like to joke a lot, be silly, have fun. So when we were working, I guess you could say, it didn't feel like we were working. It was easy, it was fun, and I was always just enjoying myself.
Oh, and that's the key thing, isn't it? If you're having fun, work's no longer work. It's something to enjoy.
Right. It's crazy that I get to call this my job, but I'm just living a dream.
And the entire Australian WWE universe is behind you 100%. I think there was a proud moment in every home when we first saw Emma make her way down that ramp and enter the dance competition.
Thank you. I remember my heart was pounding.
I could.
Still does every time I go out.
I was about to ask that. Does it get easier now that you're a bit of a veteran now of being an on-air talent? Does it get easier every day you walk out there?
I don't know if easier is the word. I guess you get experience, but each time you go out there, it's a different experience and it's something new, and there's new nerves and everything that comes with that. So, I kind of always have. It's more like an excited nervous.
Yeah.
Not nervous, that something's going to go wrong, but just like the anticipation and just looking forward to it more so.
Yeah.
So every time it's kind of a new excitement.
That is. I guess it keeps you nice and humble. If you don't have that in the back of your head, then there's no room for error, which is really good to know that you still got that focus about you. You're one of the very few lucky Australians that can state that you have performed at WrestleMania. Were you aware of this?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It is.
I saw a picture actually this morning, and it had the WrestleMania sign in the background and me in the ring, and I kind of just was like, "Whoa, that really happened."
That really happened. Oh yeah, no, I remember seeing it.
Myself. I really do.
In fact, I can't think of in modern era another Australian performing on the grandest stage of them all. I think, from my research, you're one of, if not the only one so far to walk out there.
That is insane.
So you've led the charge.
I mean, I don't think I even realised it.
Yeah, well, I can unofficially tell you, you're one of the very few from the Southern Hemisphere, and let alone Australia, to debut at, or not debut, but to turn up at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's
something I wanted to do since I was a little kid, so very cool.
And it's really good to hear you living the dream that you've wanted to achieve. You're, as I said at the very beginning, you're a very awesome success story where you, as you said, at the age of 8, you went, that's it, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. You worked, you paid your dues, you got there, and now you're, one of Australia.
I was thinking about that the other day too, and I've done a few interviews recently, and kind of looking back on the journey, and all those, like you said, there's a big independent wrestling scene there, and that's where I started, and I did years of the traveling, the setting up for shows, selling merchandise at the stands, and all of those little things, those little jobs, and the 12-hour drives between cities and losing money on the weekends. That was all part of the dream and part of the journey. So kind of looking back now, it just makes everything mean so much more, and it just makes it more exciting and crazy that this is where I'm at right now. Yeah,
and bearing all that in mind, as you said, we're paying your dues and stuff. With all the young Emma hopefuls out there, and including the young Australian that's in WWE Tough Enough at the moment, do you have a piece of advice as someone that's gone through the motions and made this dream a reality? Do you have any advice for these ladies in the making?
Yeah, I actually know the 2 girls, Jessie and Kathy, that are in NXT developmental right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually known them for years through the independent scene. And I met Georgia from Tough Enough just last night, actually, and she was very sweet. But I kind of like to kind of be that example, if I can, that, sometimes things seem very far away and almost impossible, but sometimes you just got to not think about that and get up and go after your dream and give it your all. What have you got to lose? I think that I've shown, and these girls have shown now, that anything is possible.
It's spot on. Absolutely fantastic advice to pass on. Now, August 7th, coming up very, very soon. You're back home.
Finally.
Finally, you
I wish we could come more than once a year, but I'm so glad it's that time of the year coming up.
It is really good to hear. We recently, well, not recently, we were there the day that Hulk Hogan announced that he's going to be the special general manager for the Australian tour. Are you excited to be working at this show? Are you excited that this is it? I finally get to perform in front of the home crowd. Here we go.
Yeah, and actually, last year was my first year performing in front of Australia, front of the country. But this year kind of feels like such a long time in between trips, and I haven't seen my family or friends in such a long time, and just to be able to get back there and perform in front of some Australians is really exciting. So I can't wait for that.
Now, the match for the evening here in Melbourne, you're in a tag team match. You want to walk us through that?
Yeah, well, you know what? Like I said, this wrestling business is very unpredictable, and you never know what's going to happen. But I will say that you can expect to see a few divas on that night. So I'm not going to say exactly what yet.
No, we're all super looking forward to it. With your dance, your Emma dance that you've got going on, was there a moment in time where you went, you know what, this is the dance, this is the one? Did you go through a few different ones in front of the mirror until finally you went, nah, this has to be it?
Not really. To be honest, that kind of came on kind of quickly. It wasn't like I did a bunch of different things and that was it. It was basically just that one. And then I kind of just went with the flow and the feeling and kind of embraced that one dance. But I don't know if you've watched recently, but I've actually stopped doing the dance.
I have noticed.
decided to be a little bit more serious and show everyone the real Emma now. So.
Yeah. Well, I like your style. You've come out. You've made a name for yourself, and now it's time, as you said, to focus down. Show these divas out there that you will be, without a shadow of a doubt. In fact, I will put money on it. The very first Australian Divas champion. I'm going to put money on that.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
I'm going to back that all the way to the end, and I don't think it's too far off. I think you're onto something there. Look, we'll get the entire Australian audience behind you. We'll get the entire WWE universe behind you. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. We're going to back this all the way. When that day happens, how do you think you're going to cope?
Well, you know what? I can't even tell you that. Everything has just been so surreal so far that, I agree with you 100%. It's going to happen, and it's just a matter of time. But I can't tell you how I'm going to feel or react on that day, because that will be one of the biggest dreams ever coming true. So I have to wait and see.
I can tell you, here in Australia, the day that happens, there will be hundreds of concerts in your honour.
Hundreds of which?
Of concerts and parties and everything.
Concerts?
Hundreds of them.
All right. Awesome.
You know what it's like here in Australia. Just even finding out that milk's gone down $1 a litre. There's always a party. So imagine what's going to happen.
Maybe we can make a new public holiday.
I fully agree with that. Yeah.
Like Evolution Day or something like that.
Evolution Day. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, obviously, the Hulkamania returns with the Australian tour starting off in August 7th. When you do these tours, is there, obviously you got to knock over a few cities in a short amount of time. Is there time to rest between the two? Is there time to prep? Or is it a simple case of you hit the ground running and you stop?
No. Well, we actually start in Brisbane on the 6th, and then Melbourne on the 7th, and Sydney on the 8th. So we'll probably basically fly in. Last time it was the morning of the first show. Yeah. We have maybe a few hours, and last year I had a meet and greet. I went straight to, and then straight to the show.
That's right. It was, I believe.
And then to the hotel, and the next morning we fly straight to the next city. So.
Unbelievable.
Go, go, go.
It is all on the accelerator. No time to pump the gas. It's just all go.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, for me especially, being back home in Australia and being able to see everyone and perform in front of all the Australian fans, it keeps me going. It's like a big energy drink. I mean, I don't even think about what time it is or where I am or anything. It's just excitement. So it makes it so much easier.
Well, we're all super looking forward to having you back on Australian soil, as well as watching you every week on Fox 8. Emma, WWE superstar, I am very thankful for your time and congratulations on living the dream as a WWE Diva. And we are, as I said, looking forward to seeing you in one of the major cities, either Brisbane, Melbourne or Sydney, August.
Yeah.
And we wish you all the best, and we will talk to you again the second that you get that title around your waist.
Oh, I can't wait. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure indeed. Have yourself a great day, and we will talk to you again.
All right. Take it easy.
You too.